riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire, Vankman to my Egon, Timothy Richardson. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I am feeling very patriotic this week, Garrett. I obtained a burlap sack full of rifles, pistols. I got a compound bow. I got a guy named Jesus, I think, and an eagle that seems to have this weird burlap aversion. So I am locked, loaded, and really ready to get there this week. I am also a little bit nervous about all the people outside our apartment / research lab / recording studio / party central that have all the Occupy HatePod signs. Are they here for you or me?
Unclear. And I have not gone out there. They do not seem like a friendly bunch.
No, they're not. They're not. They seem to be angry about financial crimes, but I don't. I have committed financial crimes against you, but not against the population at large. If you had an Occupy Tim sign, I get that. That's fair. I don't know.
But don't bring down the show.
Right.
In fact, that reminds me, Tim, we always wait till the end. Folks, if you want to help this little show, this little nest egg we have, this little thing we're cultivating, this little community, I've ruined it, haven't I? If you want to support the show, the best thing you can do is go out to the old Apple Podcast app, even if that's not your podcasting platform of choice, throw the 5 stars out there. Get that out of the way, and then be as insulting or creative or weird as you want to get. But that 5-star rating makes a huge fucking difference, and it is all we ask. 5 little free stars. Guess what, Tim? No matter how many 5 stars you give somebody, guess how many stars you have?
I mean,
you still have 5.
Yeah, okay, but here's the thing,
You seem confused. You seem confused.
You said that's the best thing they could do. Really, the best thing they could do is leave a sack of treasure,
money.
Pirate treasure, money, any sort of valuables on our lawn for us.
Not our lawn. Let's get a P.O. box. Yeah, okay, I guess. Okay, if you want to say there are 2 ways you could help the show. The first one, the 5 stars, leave the review, you get it. But the second thing, sack of treasure.
Yes, or money. I will also accept money. It's less fun, though, and we all know that.
Sure. And I guess if we're being fair, there's probably a third way you could help the show. But obviously the first one, the stars, the rating, get that out of the way. Second one, treasure / money. Treasure, obviously a better choice, way more fun. But third, if you could just kidnap Tim, not forever, don't hurt him, just get him out of the house for a few days so I can get some stuff done.
Yeah, if you guys want to take like a trip to Mexico, I am in. Let's do this.
You do not have to talk to him. Put him in the trunk for 3 days, give him water and a chemical toilet for all I care. But
well, I don't like that.
Shh, Tim, the adults are talking. But
how do you even use a chemical toilet if you're all like...
Don't worry about it.
It's not going to work in a trunk. That's my point.
It'll work. Oh, well,
like a closet?
It's not really not my problem. Anyway, if you can do the 5-star thing, that'd be ideal. The other 2 are entirely optional. Anyway, Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week that's made you so fucking patriotic?
Well, we have been listening to the masterful Aaron Lewis, of course, Aaron Lewis of Stained song, Am I the Only One? No question mark for some reason. Released July 4th, 2021, because of course it was.
Right. Tim, would you like to recant your previous statement at the start of the year that it was 2021, where the year in which nothing could go wrong?
God, no. From all the evidence I've seen, I was very right. Not only will it be better than 2020, literally nothing can go wrong.
So much has gone wrong.
Maybe in your view, this is all peachy to me.
Oh my God.
It's all going according to my particular plan, Garrett.
All right. You needn't elaborate, you monster. Tim, do you hate this song?
So I kind of hate it, but importantly, I also kind of love it.
Well, sure.
It's super entertaining. This is the Christmas shoes of patriotism. It's stupid, it's bad, but God, it's kind of fun. It's embarrassing. Why is he not embarrassed of this? But let me ask you, Garrett, do you hate this song?
It's a tough question,
right,
Tim.
Because it's so good.
Well, that's not the right word.
It puts those liberals in their place.
Does it?
Yes.
Is that what this is about?
Oh,
it's not time to answer that.
I think so.
Okay, maybe. To be honest, maybe this is just me. With the exception of the masterful work of Mr. Randy Newman, I don't really look for political leanings in my music.
That's not what you said the Rage Against the Machine or the NoFX episodes.
What did I say?
You said you were pretty into it.
Did I?
Go back and listen to them to to debate me.
Find the episodes.
We should shred and burn the episodes themselves.
Digitally shred them and burn them straight into Patreon.
Ooh, I wasn't going to say that, but...
I mean, if you're going to destroy them, I think people would rather us just put them behind a paywall. But we're not going to do either.
Do that.
No, of course
I think
not.
that kind of commentary there is what gets Occupy Hate Pod people on our lawn.
Why are they here?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's you. It's got to be you.
So you hate this.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I do hate it. I hate that it has to exist. It's hilarious, and I love that it does.
This is so cringy and delightful. I might love this song. I don't know. We'll see.
Interesting. The way I would describe this song makes it impossible to parody.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
What would you do?
He's doing a patriotic version of like a Jimmy Buffett kind of thing. Instead of singing about cheeseburgers, he's singing about Jesus and flags, and it's just as on the nose.
Who knew we had so many flag enthusiants in this country?
They love
People
them.
They love a good flag. You know, it's weird. I'm going to get a whole bunch of hate for this. Indifferent on flags. I've never been much for a flag. They're fine. I'm not saying don't have flags. I'm just saying, they're fine.
Now,
I guess.
you have 2 flags hanging in our living room kitchen area. Okay. Just not American flags is what you're saying.
No. I'm indifferent about those as well. I feel like those flags are important to have in the kitchen area.
Uncomfortable. Garrett, have you heard this song before?
No. Yes, because of our listeners. Our listeners brought it to my attention, and then you brought it to my attention, and I said, Tim, you should look at our Twitter once in a while, you asshole.
Oh, well, again, I don't have the password to that.
Absolutely fair and good idea.
Yeah.
So yes, I had heard it. I didn't know that it was so new. I thought it was, ages old.
Yeah, I came across the censored version of this a few weeks ago. I was Googling, as I do every morning, right when I wake up, the worst of today. I think it was on July 5th or 6th, and this popped right up.
Wow. Interesting first Google of the day. Listeners, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. What is your first Google of the day? That's your history. That's my history. Before we can talk about the song itself, we need to understand a little bit more about the man who made it. So, Tim, take us on a journey. God, I hope it's brief. Help us understand. Feel free to skip as many albums as you'd like of his discography.
I'm not doing any of this.
Okay.
Each one gets their own 10-minute description.
All right, Tim. So take us on a journey as long as you'd like it to be. Help us understand, who is Aaron Lewis and how did Am I the Only One come to be?
Well, Aaron Lewis was born in Vermont to hippies that lived in a log cabin, which is really the perfect setting to foist a redneck version of Alex P. Keaton on the world. And that's kind of what we got. Ari claims he began hunting white-tailed deer at 4 to 5 years old, probably a lie, but he's still a huge fan of hunting to this day. He says that he prefers to hunt with a bow and occasionally a muzzleloader. So he seems like a real coastal elite with his Vermont cabin and old-timey rifle.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
I can understand the difficulty of hunting with a bow. A muzzle loader is confusing to me because, to my mind, all that tells me is that it's going to take you longer to reload and that animal may suffer rather than, just shooting a second bullet.
Oh, also, it doesn't shoot very straight, so you gotta factor that in. Anyway, Ari's parents got divorced, and he moved to Springfield, Massachusetts, where he stayed through high school. When he was 21, he went to a Christmas party where he met guitarist Mike Mushok, who introduced him to drummer John Wysocki, and then Ari brought in bassist Johnny April, and the band Stained was officially formed in, 94, 95. Now, they were...
Are you calling him Ari?
Yes, I am.
Why?
It's short for Aaron.
Oh my God. You know what kills me, Tim? People love your nicknames.
Of course they do. They're great nicknames. And
they're
here's the
terrible.
Thing. What I've gleaned from social media is that people love me in general, don't seem to care for you. You're seen as abrasive. You're seen as not friendly. You're seen as abusive toward me.
Yes.
That one. All right. Anyway, so they're originally, or initially a cover band. They did a lot of Rage Against the Machine, Pearl Jam, Pantera, Tool, Korn songs, and they played in the local Massachusetts area. And then they self-released the album Tormented in 96, and Ari's cousin got them a show opening for Limp Bizkit. Now, FED, or Fred Durst, as the uninitiated call him, saw their album artwork on that first album, and he believed them to be, and I think people remember this from the last episode, theistic Satanists, which is an unacceptable form of Satanism according to the Durst, although he is more tolerant of the more LaVeyan forms of Satanism. So Fred tried to get them dropped from the show. However, cooler cooler heads prevailed, and Fred ended up hearing them and loving what he heard, so he invited them to go to Jacksonville to record, took them on the Vans Warped Tour, signed them to Flip Records in 98, which is, of course, the home of the Biscuit.
You saw him crop up in local news lately, right?
Oh, yeah. He's got a new haircut, and he's canceling shows all willy-nilly.
Yeah, I assume that's a wig, right?
Probably. He's got a...
He looks like the dude from Beastie Boys.
Kinda. He looks like a 70s cop that's on like a vacation in Miami.
Yes.
Anyway, Freddie D co-produced their second album, Dysfunction. That did well. And then they went on tour with Kid Rock. Then they got an even better slot on that coveted Family Values 1999 tour. They got to play with Korn, The Biscuit, Primus, Method Man, Redman, and DMX. Now, on that tour in Biloxi, Mississippi, Fred got Ari to perform an acoustic version of the song Outside, which Garrett loves, and that became extremely popular on the old radiometer. It was the moment, actually, that two of our listeners fell in love, and the band The Loving Apparitions was born, possibly. Also,
it's killing me to not sing that song right now. I just want you to know that. It's just not appropriate. You do your history. I'll sing it when it's appropriate.
Okay.
It won't ever be.
Anyway,
I will sing it at some point.
I'm sure you will. Ari got to scream or sing or whatever on Limp Bizkit's song No Sex, in which FED maybe brags about other people having sex with his wife. Definitely does not have sex with her on the song, still a virgin at this point, as we all know. And I think that was news that was broken on this very show.
Yeah, it was.
But in case there's a lawsuit resulting in that, we heard it from someone else.
Yeah. We're not saying it's true. We're saying people are saying it. We're just reporting on the fact that people have said it.
Yes. And then
we're the Google of podcasting. And what you do with our tools is not our fault.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Stained released Break the Cycle in 2001. That hit number 1 in the US, sold over 8 million copies worldwide. It is unclear, though, how many of those copies were sold after March 10th, 2020, when we did our Stained episode. I would bet at least half.
Oh, yeah. They definitely benefited from the podcast bump. We've gotten a number of emails. We don't name names here on the show because it wouldn't be, it'd just be gross. But yeah, we get a lot of emails from the bands we do saying, oh man, we love the show. It's so funny. Obviously, we can't say anything on social media, like, fuck you. But no, it's great. Thank you so much, though, because people got a renewed interest. I think they wanted to listen to the album so that they could be ready for the show, which is always a great idea. But you don't have to. Honestly, Tim, we do it for the listeners and the viewers. Find the feed. But we almost do it as much for the artists. We're giving back to the musical community.
That's not how I read it.
Oh. What do you think it is?
Oh, I thought we were doing it just because we don't really like their music.
Oh, I guess that's why we started. Sure. I don't know. I'm just saying, don't you feel like a philanthropist?
Oh, absolutely I do. Okay. I donate all sorts of bits and personality traits that other people can take and use with their loved ones, or email Garrett about and say that they like.
You donate bits.
Yeah.
So like when you get done with a bit here on the show, maybe let's say your terrible nickname for Aaron Lewis, Ari. You'll retire that, or
I'm not going to retire it, but I'm saying other people can use it.
Sure, I was going to say retire it from the show and donate it.
No.
Okay, I see. You're going to continue to use it, but then you're going to license it for free, I assume.
Yeah.
Tim. Okay. A donation doesn't cost money,
right,
for other people.
Right. Anyway, Garrett, it's not important. The point is my personality and quirks, they're out there for other people to adopt on their own. I feel like that is philanthropic.
This is one of the weirdest conversations I've ever had. So, Tim, you're telling me that you, Timothy Richardson, your personality is public domain. Anyone can use it.
Absolutely.
This is wild. Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. How has it been being Tim?
Yeah.
Get out there, get in the world, be Tim. Go to Burger King, order something as Tim.
And if you live in Austin, approach Garrett as Tim.
Don't do that. Good rule of thumb, if you're in Austin, don't approach Garrett. Don't approach Garrett. That's what I would start with. Don't come up to me. If you hear me at a restaurant and you're like, I know that golden voice. Is that Garrett? Just assume it isn't.
I got some compliments on my voice on Friday.
From deaf people?
No, they very much were listening. They were drunk.
But what did they say?
They just said I had a good radio voice.
That is untrue.
I agree completely. That's what I said. And they just kept saying
I have a bad radio voice.
Yes.
And you have a somehow worse radio voice.
Right, absolutely. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I accepted their compliments with humility and grace.
You always do.
Yep. Anyway, so Break the Cycle comes out in 2000. 2001. The band continues for the next decade. They release 4 more albums up until the self-titled 2011 album. They record a bunch of songs for Michael Bay movies. That's not what we're here to talk about. In 2011, citing Kiddathy Rock as his inspiration, Airy released his first country music EP called Townline on Stradivarius Records, and it included the song Country Boy that he somehow convinced both George Jones and Charlie Daniels to perform on. I don't know why they did that.
They're old, Tim, and easily manipulated.
Oh, right.
He also sold them a reverse mortgage.
No. So he played off of some sort of neurodegenerative disease, some sort of frontotemporal dementia that's affecting their judgment. In 2012, he released his first full solo country album, The Road, which featured the song Granddaddy's Gun. This is a Rhett Akins cover, and weirdly, it is the first song on a Stained or Airy record ever not written by Airy, at least as a co-writer. The song was also notably recorded by Blake Shelton.
Oof.
At the World Series in 2014, Airy sang the national anthem for Game 5 and flubbed the lyrics. He said, "All I can say is I'm sorry and ask for the nation's forgiveness. My nerves got the best of me and I am completely torn up about what happened. America is the greatest country in the world. The Star-Spangled Banner means so much to so many, including myself. I hope everyone can understand the intensity of the situation and my true intent of this performance. I hope that the nation, Major League Baseball, and the many fans of our national pastime can forgive me."
Hey, Borat, if you're out there listening, I got one for you. Somehow figure out a way to sing the national anthem at a very big Major League Baseball game, and then sing "O Canada" over the music in its totality.
I like that. Anyway,
Right.
So while still touring for the album The Road, he recorded his second album, Sinner, in an 18-hour stretch. He released that, though, in 2016. And as these solo albums are progressing, he writes less and less of the songs, and the cover photographs make him look more and more like a long-haul trucker. It seems...
It is weird, right?
Yeah, and it seems disingenuous at best, but I think what he's doing is it's an attempt to look like the sort of fella that knows all the words to the national anthem.
God, it's not stealing valor. It's like he's stealing patriotism.
He's stealing...
Jingoism.
Maybe. But it's kind of like that thing that politicians do. Like, you're running for president and you go to Iowa and, like, have a beer at the local thing. You know, it's that pretending like you're a person. That's what he's doing.
I sure love this wheat and barley.
Yeah, I do love the taste of wheat and or barley. Also in 2016, he supported Donald Trump for president, despite claiming he was disappointed by the bickering and name-calling from the campaign, which is confusing because bickering and name-calling
was the campaign.
Right, that was what was offered. In 2019, Airy released the solo album State I'm In. He did a tour as a solo act in late 2019 and early 2020, of course wearing a Make America Great hat the whole time. And Garrett, Stained is still a thing. They were scheduled to play a bunch of festivals in like May of 2020 until some plaguey unpleasantness, but they are currently on tour with Korn right at this very moment, and we can see both bands on Saturday, September 18th, 2021 at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater right here in Austin.
What in the fuck is that?
I don't know. It's a renamed something. On July 4th, 2021, perhaps in an attempt to cause a greater affront to our great nation than that time he couldn't remember the words to the Star-Spangled Banner at the baseball game because he's not really that big of a patriot, Airy released the Song of the Week, the question markless Am I the Only One? You Are Fucking Welcome, America.
God damn, it's a beast.
Yeah, it's great. Well, wait, let's listen to it and then let's talk about it.
Yeah, here's a taste, everybody.
Willing to bleed, take a bullet for being
gross, right? It's gross.
Well, in so many ways.
Yeah.
It's gross in so many ways.
It feels like a South Park parody of a country song. Like it has that ladder to heaven feel to it that just devolves into 9/11. And there's your 9/11 reference for the week.
Tim, I'm reasonably certain there was like a 5-year period where anytime something resembled this, one of us would look at the other and go, "Where were you when that boy climbed that ladder?" God, and that is what this is. It's 1/3 these kids today's and 2/3 these goddamn liberals.
Right, but this is marketed toward people that would say, congregate and hang out and maybe listen to a song like this, then, maybe go into a building, see what's in that building.
Interesting. What's in
Capitol.
the building?
The building is Nancy Pelosi.
I see. Well, she's not the building. I see. Yeah. No. Oh, that's a big question, right? right, is...
To be clear, he's not going in the building with you, but he is going to like get you all amped up for you to go.
Oh, sure. No, he's going to get in his limousine.
Oh, yeah.
In his trucker hat and his frayed t-shirt and go have a money fight with his butlers.
Yes. The whole song kind of feels like Ari watched Parks and Recreation a bunch and was like, I really like that Ron Swanson guy. And like, but I don't get, like, he's the only character in here that there's no jokes written for, you know? But I like him. I like the cut of his jib.
I mean, sort of. This is like a bizarro Ron Swanson.
Well, that's my point. He thinks he sees it and he's unaware that there's like, that it's a comedic performance. He's just like, yeah, steaks and eggs and mustaches and yeah, I'm in.
I mean, I like steak and eggs and mustaches.
Yeah, you're terrible, Garrett. You're the sort of person that would write a country song to sell to the alt-right. And that is why we have Occupy Hate Pod protesters on our lawn right now.
Oh, I haven't written it yet. I haven't released it. It's a hypothetical song. No one has heard or seen the lyrics.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like I've seen a bunch of sticky notes that have some pretty controversial things written on them. They're on your computer.
Tim, they
right
believe
now.
a lot of atrocious things.
That's true.
And I am pandering to a market.
Yes. The other thing this is, do you remember that song, And I'd Gladly Stand Up Next to You and Defend Her Still Today? You know this song? Yeah, that's what this is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is jingoistic nonsense designed to cover for the fact that he is so not a patriotic American that he doesn't know the words to the Star Spangled Banner.
Right.
Something every child past the age of 5 is forced to learn in America for some reason.
Unless you grew up in Saudi Arabia and then you get a pass.
Ooh, Tim, do you not know the words?
I think I could mumble my way through it. That
is not the same thing. That's fascinating. Yeah, it's funny. I learned it at such a young age. I don't remember when I learned it.
Yeah, you'll never forget it. You've got the some sort of song about the War of 1812 jammed into your head for some reason.
Yeah, that isn't very helpful, is it? Man, Tim, we're probably going to get a lot of heat from that alt-right group you've been courting for so long.
I mean, yes.
Good.
We probably will. It's there. You know, I will say this. They're not really people you want as friends. They're also really not people you want as enemies.
Yeah. That's a good summation. You know what we haven't done before we get into the lyrics itself? Let's at least talk about this musically for one moment. It's acoustic guitar that I have no problem with.
Yeah, this is kind of what I want modern country to be, like the sound of this. I want it just to be a guy with an acoustic guitar. Maybe there's a couple of other instruments, but there's no auto-tune, I don't think. Is there auto-tune?
Right.
There's no auto-tune.
There's no Nelly.
Yeah, right. There's no Florida. There's no Georgia.
Ooh.
I mean,
this one's for my people. From the chapel to the steeple.
Yeah.
God damn, I love that album. Yeah, I agree. With the exception of what he's saying and what happens in the choruses, because he gets a little out of control there.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Tim, I think that we've officially said too much. So let's talk about the lyrics. Let me open us up. Am I the only one here tonight, shaking my head and thinking something ain't right? Is it just me? Am I losing my mind? Am I standing on the edge of the end of time?
I like it so far. This is the sort of song that's going to ask big, like, metaphysical questions. I'm in.
What if this had been on the soundtrack to Interstellar? Murph, am I the only one? Somebody do that.
Here's the difference. I think that that movie delved weirdly into like love is the answer, whereas he is gonna go the exact opposite direction into hate's the answer.
Violence.
Yes. Into a
I haven't stopped laughing at this. Okay, I'm sorry.
Eric Clapton-esque thing, except slightly more coded.
Well, Clapton is kind of more of a pussy. I mean, not in the 70s.
I'm talking about all that the racist stuff.
Oh, right, the 70s.
Yeah.
The 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, that stuff was...
I'm talking about cocaine Clapton.
Oh, yeah, that guy's way out of line. Okay, so the lyrics as we read just a moment ago beg the question. When he says, am I the only one here tonight? Where is he, Tim? You alluded to it. It seems to be like a gathering of some sort. A lot of like-minded individuals.
Oh, yeah. I believe there's going to be a bunch of trucks kind of in the woods. They formed like a semicircle. There's probably a fire. And, Garrett, there have been a lot of new families moving to town. You see?
Oh, my God.
The point is, someone's got to do something.
That's great, because at this point we have not identified who his enemy is. It's clear that something must be done.
Yes. Am I the only one? Tell me I'm not. Who thinks they're taking all the good we got and turning it bad? Hell, I'll be damned. I think I'm turning into my old man.
Perfect. So the refrain.
There's a they.
Right. There's a they.
Some group of people
That's taking the good.
Yes. They've
making it bad.
come in and they have corrupted, tainted his community, his society, his people.
God damn it, Tim!
What?
I'm getting a real rural 50s Mississippi vibe, and it is not funny.
I am also getting this, but I'm getting it from
a humorous show. Humorous.
Right.
I feel like we are headed face first into tragedy. Let's take a hard left. Back to the song, Tim. What is being turned bad? Not entirely sure. The country will say. But what I'm curious about is they seem to be abusing something. They are making the country bad by taking everything that's good about it, which led me to believe that he thinks that people are using their freedoms incorrectly.
Right.
Possibly voting wrong.
They're voting wrong. The demon rats. We'll get there because that's coming up later. Yeah, there's some comments, Garrett. I got some Amazon, some YouTube comments.
And just to be clear, let's just save the tweets and the emails. Tim and I are equally repulsed by both sides of the major political parties in this country. So if there was an opposite version of this, like Chuck Schumer rapping about the GOP, it would be on the show.
First of all, I'd be super into that because that sounds adorable. Second of all, I'd like to add a little caveat. I'm not equally disgusted by both sides.
Oh, that's true. It's like 70-30.
We're not doing there's good people on both sides. We're doing there's bad people on both sides. But
there it is.
Currently, a little more on one side.
That's true. It is not an even seesaw. Thank you for clarifying, Tim.
Yes.
One of those kids needs to go on a diet.
Yeah, one of those groups made this song.
That's also true. The song continues. Wait, let's make sure we hit every fucking word. Okay, yeah, so they're turning the country bad with the misuse of their freedoms. You've been given all these freedoms, speech and voting and media. You can say whatever you want, and you are doing it wrong.
Oh, sure. Yes. The Democrats, you see, have chosen...
Tim, you're being so specific. I really want to broaden it to a nice general they, so that this song can appeal to anyone who has hate in them, and then they can picture the people they think are ruining the country. See, now to be fair, this is a hard right-leaning song, so it is people of liberal values.
It is people of center or liberal values.
People of values left of Aaron Lewis.
Right. Yes. So,
or at least the character portrayed by Aaron Lewis.
Yeah, that's probably true. But
Timmy doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. I heard he doesn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. There's no video proof. I don't know. I'm not saying that, Mr. Lewis. I'm sure you know the Pledge of Allegiance. Every child knows the Pledge of Allegiance. Why would you be any different? But I heard from a pretty reliable source, can't say who, but I heard doesn't know the pledge.
Now, here's the thing. Garrett Harvey is challenging you. Garrett Harvey. Nope, because then he'll want to be on your side. The point is...
also not my name and not funny.
It's very funny, first of all. Garrett Harvey is challenging you to a fight. Now, he will be dressed probably as a white-tailed deer. and he's going to come at you, friend. Airy.
Yeah, but the difference between this white-tailed deer and your average white-tailed deer, this one's got brass knuckles.
Yeah, but he's got that muzzle loader.
You better not miss.
That's fair. So the chorus goes, am I the only one willing to bleed or take a bullet for being free? Now, there is, I think, more chorus, but I want to stop right there.
That's important.
What exactly in his history backs this up, right? Because he's not a military guy. And more specifically,
that's what I was wondering.
He didn't kill any Nazis in World War II the last time that was really a relevant statement, right?
Right. You could make a loose argument, Tim, that if Afghanistan was left entirely unchecked, it would be a wholly owned Taliban society, which it will be soon, folks, don't worry. And then it would foster more future terrorist attacks, basically serving as a terrorist state.
Yeah,
you could argue that.
But you could also argue that about Saudi Arabia for the last 100 years.
Tim, there are
right.
allies.
You know what? Nope. I apologize. This is really embarrassing. This episode is actually brought to you by the country of Saudi Arabia and their oil company, Saudi Aramco.
Saudi Aramco. Aramco. You can taste the difference.
Yes. So,
Please
but
do
I
not
realize
taste audio Aramco oil.
it's a weird thing to say. Fighting in Afghanistan or Iraq is really akin to taking a bullet for being free or for not protecting the freedoms of others or whatever. But
that's not what he means, Tim.
Right. Even if it was, there has been a war that he could very easily have signed up for to go fight for approximately 87% of his musical career.
Yeah.
And it's also this weird thing where if you make an argument about like healthcare in this country, he's the sort of person that would be like, oh, if you don't love it, you should leave it. Okay. But.
What if we made it better?
Yeah, exactly. If you just say everything's fine, it's like telling your kid, yeah, he's biting the passenger next to him on the airplane, but like, he's the greatest kid in the whole world.
What a wacky example. Allow me to give you one that isn't about a child biting people. It's like we all just said, you know what? Cell phones are great. No need to do any better on cell phones. From now on, this is it. Everyone enjoy. Why would you do that? Let's get better. Better cell phones.
Yes. Yeah.
Better democracy. Better all of it. Now, Tim, you just did something that I really appreciate. You gave Mr. Lewis the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I did not mean to.
Well, you did, because you just gave us the two most acceptable reads on those lyrics. One, he served in the military. Of course, he didn't, so stealing valor. Good job. Two, perhaps just an enthusiast of the military and maybe just wants to speak that he supports it through his art, I guess. I don't know. But when you read these lyrics, given that he was never in the military, am I the only one willing to bleed? So he's willing to bleed or take a bullet for being free. This seems to be some sort of pro-Civil War style song.
So it does. Go ahead.
How else would he end up bleeding?
Well, I don't know. I agree with you, though, because it does go on in that Civil War-ish direction. The rest of the chorus is screaming what the fuck, or possibly what the hell, depending on which version you get, at my TV for telling me, yeah, are you telling me that I'm the only one willing to fight for my love of the red, white, and blue, burning on the ground, another statue coming down in a town near you. Now, first of all, he equates burning the flag is the same thing as taking down a statue of a Confederate general, I guess. You know what other flag has red, white, and blue on it?
The British flag?
The Confederate flag.
Oh. God, do you really think that's the case?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, Jesus Christ.
He's written a very poor song. Well, because what he's doing here is he's watching Fox News, he's taking their talking points, and he's being like, the idiots that are watching this will buy a song if I just make this rhyme. That's all this is.
Yes. So are you saying that you don't think he's actually watching it? You think he's taking notes and he's writing a formula?
Yeah, I think he's an opportunist. I think that he is noticing that about 75 million people in this country will buy garbage if it comes from a certain place. Sure. And so I think that he has written a song specifically targeting those people. Okay.
That's a fair assertion based on what we got in here. And I'll just say, anybody listening, if you're getting your information from cable news, you're fucked. Stop doing that. I don't care which one it is. Doesn't matter. Don't do that. Read something.
YouTube. Or a Chan. Go to one of the Chans.
No Chans, no YouTube.
Reddit?
No, maybe. Reddit's a sticky wicket.
You don't do it the way I do it. It's mostly, oh God, Garrett. Ugh.
Ooh, listeners, watch the social media. Tim's going to be sharing his top 5 subreddits any day now.
No.
Maybe I'll release them on your behalf.
No, please don't do that.
I'm definitely gonna. Okay. The song continues. Hold on. I have to pause on the statue thing just for 1 second. It is insane that why are we arguing about keeping up the statues of the guys that lost, right?
Well, not only the guys that lost, because keeping a statue of the guy that lost is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I have no problem. If Rocky were a real person, we should build a statue to him. That's an inspiring
they did build
story.
A statue to him.
I know, and that's weird because again,
I think they
not
got
a real person.
I think they might have taken it down.
Did he sexually molest somebody? The character
Stallone?
Rocky?
Well, that depends. Do you think Adrian was?
You know what? I don't want to get into it. The point is, it's weird because it's a fictional character. But my point is, the statues aren't bad because they lost. The statues are bad because
of what they fought for.
Even that, but because they directly committed treason against the U.S.
Well, there's also that. But sometimes treason's called for, Tim.
Oh, God. Are you going to do this blood and patriots and some sort of liberty tree thing again? I don't want to see your goddamn chest tattoo again. It It's creepy, and
it'll all make sense in a few years when Costier makes his rise. Anyway, here's a fun analogy. See if it holds any water for you, Tim. Go drive around Berlin. See what statues they got. Guess who's not got any statues hanging out?
It's even a little bit worse than that because there's a ton of like U.S. military bases that are named after Confederate generals. And there's also statues of Confederate generals in Union states, essentially. So the analogy isn't even in Germany, like statues of Hitler.
It would be like
analogy,
Poland?
Poland is a good example. It'd be a weird thing to do.
Yeah, to say the least. I'm glad we stuck on this for a moment. The song continues. Am I the only one not brainwashed, making my way through the land of the lost? Who still gives a shit and worries about his kids as they try to undo all the things he did? Great. So who is brainwashing anybody?
I think it's the CNN.
The liberal media?
The CNN, yeah.
Again, who's watching cable news? Who is watching cable news? Don't!
Making my way through the land of the lost, who still gives a shit, or possibly who still sees it as it is, depending if you're listening to the clean version of this, and worries about his kids as they try to undo all the things he did. What does that last line mean?
This is why I say it's a third of these kids today. I think he's implying that his own children despise his political beliefs and are actively trying to work against him.
Oh.
Or it's terrible grammar.
I agree that grammatically his kids are going to destroy his legacy, is what he's saying.
Right, but it's two separate thoughts, probably.
Right. I think what he's saying is he's worried about his country and the things that these others, them, are doing to it because he's worried about the legacy he's leaving to his children.
If you didn't have the backdrop of the last 5 or so years and the demise of the U.S. political system, like total collapse, you could make the argument to somebody who didn't know better, this song's about aliens. Another statue coming down in a town near you.
I like that.
Am I the only one not brainwashed, making his way through the land of the lost?
Oh, I like
about
this
his
song.
kids.
Yeah. Because they're taking down those statues of Confederate generals and putting up statues of Garlax the Magnificent and...
Yeah, that's right. What was that fucking thing? God.
Garlax Johnson, I believe.
Garlax Johnson.
Yeah, to fit in.
Can we... Yeah. My name is Garlax. Garlax? Oh, Garlax Johnson.
Yes.
Smith.
The Conqueror.
The Conqueror. Ugh, it's just a poor man's lure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway.
But okay, let's really focus as they try to undo all the things he did. I assume that he is the he in this sentence, right? He's talking about himself.
He's a modern day Benji Franklin.
Yes. Okay, because as far as I know, all this guy has done is make a pile of bad albums, and we can't, they're out there. People bought 8 million of them.
Benji Franklin, bifocals. Aaron Lewis, because I'm on the outside, I'm looking in, I can see through you, see to the real you.
You gotta stop. You wait until I've just about fallen asleep every goddamn night to just begin singing that at the top of your lungs. You had to quiet it down for the microphones here, but you are just screaming it. My point is, Ari has produced nothing really of lasting cultural value other than
that song.
Yeah, that or the It's Been a While.
That's not him.
It is. It's Stained.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, he's produced a couple of bits, right? So, I don't understand what he has done that anyone else is trying to undo. The only way this sentiment could make sense is if he's either overestimating his contribution to society, or if the he that he mentions in this sentence is a group of people, and there's a different group of people, I'm going to say women and not white people, that are destroying his way of life by existing.
By existing? Yikes. Yeah. How do you fix that? Don't answer that.
My point is, this song is one step removed from replacement theory.
Jesus Christ.
Right. I know, Garrett, this is a much darker song than I initially thought.
It does seem to be very at home in we'll just say a rally. That could be anything.
Yeah. A rally about how there's too many Muslims.
For instance. Sure.
Right.
This would fit there probably pretty nicely. Get the crowd good and warmed up. We haven't touched on the distinction between the verses and the chorus in style, if I may. I'll scooch on back. You've got the very, very fine verse, something analogous to am I the only one? It's fine. However, the chorus it's borderline new metal. He gets into a full-on am I the only one?
Yeah, no, he goes for it in the chorus.
Now, here's a fun idea that I thought about the other day, and it almost broke my brain. So we all remember when Johnny Cash was getting a bit older, and he started to cover the rock songs. I will make it hurt.
It was great.
It was great. It was great. Time will fold in on itself when at some point Aaron Lewis gets old and then does country covers of Stain songs.
I mean, he kind of already did that with Outside, right? Back in 99.
Sort of, but Fred Durst is in that song.
Yeah, well, Garrett, I hate to tell you, Fred Durst is going to be in all those country songs.
Okay, back to the song at hand. I'm not sure how much more we've got. Hopefully it's nearing an end.
Oh, we've got my favorite part coming up. The chorus. Again, but different this time.
Oh, right. It is an alternate version of the chorus. Hit it.
Am I the only one who can't take no more, screaming, if you don't like it, there's the fucking door. This ain't the freedom we've been fighting for. Now, there is, of course, the censored version where he says, am I the only one who can't take no more, screaming, if you don't like it, there's the frickin' door.
Yeah.
And God, it's funny.
Frickin'.
It's
funny.
a Dr. Evil frickin'.
There's the frickin' door.
Oh, I take it back. That's not my favorite part. My favorite part's still coming.
Okay. I do have, again, a problem with the fact that he says this ain't the freedom we've been fighting for. Again, folks, stop using your freedom wrong. It's such a crazy statement. Like, yeah. I'd love to be like, I'm sorry, what is the... Tell me what this means if it doesn't mean you don't like the way people are being free. And to be clear, I don't like all the things that are happening right now. At all.
Sure, I agree completely. But the point is...
people are free to do it.
People on the right currently are claiming that they are on the side of freedom. Historically, that hasn't been true because they've been the censors. They've been the PMRC and such.
Or just the people that make you put that stupid explicit tag on the front of albums and makes it difficult for an 11-year-old Garrett to get his hands on Soundgarden.
You don't know what the PMRC is.
I thought it was the Mounties.
Oh, I like that. The Canadians?
That's the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
I like that. But it's just funny, the phrasing, right? We love freedom. No, not that freedom.
You're freedoming wrong.
Yes, I have a very, very narrow interpretation of freedom. Now, it's the Ford joke, the Model T thing. You can have it in any color you want as long as the color you want is black.
Right. You can do whatever you want as long as I approve of it first.
Right, yes.
So free.
It's free in that sort of authoritarian kind of way.
Yeah. It's like, this probably won't make sense to a lot of folks, but here in Texas, you can go hunting on people's land. And it's hunting, but it's really just like 40 acres of fenced in area with some deer on it. So you're kind of just shooting somebody's farm animals.
Yeah.
Like, you're free, but you're also just kind of penned in. And if you do anything wrong, we're going to let somebody hunt you.
Oh, you know what we should do? We should second layer the hunting, right? So they're hunting deer. Bears are hunting them.
Sentence?
I don't know, the hunters.
I mean, earlier you said that I was going to challenge Aaron Lewis to a fight in which I was dressed as a deer.
I still believe that's going to happen. My point is that we take money from humans to hunt deer on this plot of land. Then we take money from bears to hunt humans on this plot of land and just see what happens. I want early 90s, like the gang warfare that was depicted in Predator 2. I want that happening, but with like woods animals.
Forest animals?
Yeah.
That can't happen. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was trying to respond to him, but you lost me at bear money. Bears don't have money.
That was so long ago. They do have money. It's berries, and you love berries. You love bear money.
I hate when you're right.
Okay, the bridge. Am I the only one who quit singing along every time they play a Springsteen song? I love this.
So is it because he's friends with Barry, and now they have a podcast together?
I don't know. Because it's been recent, right? Because he says quit singing along. So at one point, he enjoyed singing the songs of Springsteen. So what he's doing here, he's outing himself as a complete moron, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Because he recently quit singing along to Springsteen when he realized that Springsteen doesn't agree with his political views, which is really stupid. First of all, if you like the music before, you should still like it, right? Like,
sure.
He didn't quit listening to the Eagles or the Beach Boys based on the revelations made on this show. But it's even worse than that because it's the proudly ignorant declaration of a guy that has never really listened to Bruce Springsteen because none of the songs are this blindly understandably patriotic bullshit that like Airy wants them to be. So
Aaron Lewis.
nationalistic.
I don't know what irony is.
Right. Like Born in the USA, it's clearly always been critical of the US if you listen to more than the chorus. My hometown, not a celebration of the good times. Glory days, not a celebration of the last happy time of one's life being high school sports. He was just too dumb to notice before somebody like very recently pointed it out to him.
It had to be slapped in the face for him. Like, oh, what you doing with that Muslim? You mean former? Hey, his words, not mine, Tim. No, you're 100% right. It not only proves that he both was the exact opposite of what Bruce Springsteen would have liked him to be as a fan, as well as so incredibly stupid that because Bruce Springsteen likes a guy he doesn't like and wants to vote a certain way, he can no longer enjoy his songs.
Yes, and also, again, he's the sort of person that loved the music and only listened to the chorus.
Sure, but he loved the music.
Yeah.
Now, Tim, this got me thinking, how do you think Aaron Lewis feels about, say, Michael Jackson? Can he still listen to Thriller?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. What about R. Kelly? Can he really jam out to In the Closet?
I think so. Why not?
He still believes he can fly. All right. What about Mr. Jeremy Renner?
Are you saying because of the allegations or because of the scarves? Because
Tim, you take your pick what repulses you most about Jeremy Renner and then just go from there.
Not repulses me,
well, sure,
but repulses
the
Airy.
royal you.
So I think that if he heard the news stories, he'd be fine. If he saw the scarves, he would be out.
What happens scarves plus duster?
That's hard. If you tuck the scarves into the duster, I think he could get past them.
But if there's a heavy breeze, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Love it. Any other ones we should consider?
What about Morgan Wallen?
Ooh, completely okay. People make mistakes, Tim. You need to move on. Don't dwell on it. The boy went to rehab or something.
Ooh,
some shit.
I've got some news on him.
Yeah, we all do. God. Oh, is this over yet?
I think so. I think there's another chorus or two.
Yeah, he's holding back
cries
tears
later.
Yeah. Just watching Fox News, drinking whiskey, and crying.
Yep.
Screaming at his TV. That's a person we should listen to.
It's pretty great. There's no video other than a lyric video with the waviest flag you ever did see.
I saluted it the entire length.
Yeah, you did.
Tim, how did this thing do?
This hit number 1 on the U.S. country chart, number 14 on the overall Billboard 200. It is the best one of his non-stained songs ever. So
that's depressing for him.
This did better than the Dursty version of Outside, because that was technically a solo song.
God, you're right.
Yeah.
Man, makes me want to sing it again.
Yeah. And I have no idea what the Dutch have to say about this, but you will be happy to note that I have dedicated considerable show resources to finding out the answer to that for you.
Please don't. Is there any way to call them back? And did you send them to the Dutch?
I did send them to the Dutch, yes. And
how many?
I don't know.
How many souls will be lost, Tim?
I can't answer that. I mean, it could be up to 6.
Up to 6. Okay. Can you tell me what conveyance you sent them? Please say airplane.
Oh, God, no, Garrett. It's just the recycled air. I have more concern for our interns than that.
Where was your expertise on HVAC systems a year ago?
Well, in my defense, shut up.
We learned a lot that year.
Yeah. We were...
You're a murderer.
It was a fluid state, Garrett. We had to think and act in the moment.
Yeah. You sealed that baby up tight.
Look, I killed some people. Got in. All right, I killed some people. Sure.
Well, inadvertently. Yeah. Technically, oxygen did, or I guess carbon dioxide.
Yeah, you can't blame me for the crimes of suffocation.
Well, that depends. Can we blame you for the crimes of the West Campus Strangler? And I think we can. Then we can, in fact, actually.
No.
Dynamite defense. Tim, what do people think of it?
Well, there are 2 reviews on Amazon. 1 5-star, 1 1-star. Ruben Gathright said, "You are not the only one, Aaron." That's the title. Highly recommended song for those who stand with the Constitution and the freedoms our forefathers died for. 5 out of 5 stars. Now, I also copied down some reviews for the t-shirt that I've purchased for both Garrett and myself, although he declined to wear his for this recording. Basically, it's an American flag. It says, "Am I the only one? Aaron Lewis." Becky Burns, 237, love it. Bought this for my husband and he absolutely loves it. It's comfortable and it fits as expected. Best of all, we're not the only ones who love what this stands for. Thank you, Aaron Lewis, for speaking the truth for the silenced majority of us. 5 out of 5 stars. Chris.
Who is being silenced?
Chris, this shirt just says it all. Am I the only only one. This song is our new anthem versus Springsteen's garbage. Aaron Lewis is more patriotic than him. 5 out of 5 stars.
Well, one of them doesn't know the motherfucking pledge. So
Now,
I've
Garrett,
heard. I'm not saying that.
I went to YouTube.
Allegedly.
I went to YouTube.
No.
Brian Moon 1 month ago, Korean-American veteran here, and this song is so beautiful and got me teary-eyed. We must defend America from communists and socialists. The user, unlearning communism. Love from Serbian patriot. I'm getting goosebumps. Beautiful.
Why is everybody listing their nationalities?
Michael White had a buddy of mine 10 years ago that almost lost his life for this country. No, you're not the only one. Seems like some stolen valor there, Michael White. But Aaron Lewis replied to that one.
Really?
Well, no, it's somebody that's pretending to be Aaron Lewis to scam this guy. Thanks for the love and support you show me as a special fan of mine. I hope you won't stop listening to my music. This is my private text number.
No, it's Tim. We're just going to have to mute that.
I'd like to talk to you better. God bless America. God bless you. He replied to several people like that.
That's amazing. We should call him.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't forget that. We're calling that guy.
He might scam us, though. He seems
No,
so
we know
smart.
it's not Aaron Lewis.
I don't.
We will write on a Post-it, not Aaron Lewis, and put it on the phone so we don't forget.
Jose Batres, thank you for this gem. Beautifully sung with a deep meaning. I'm immigrated from Mexico with my mom when I was only a kid. I love this country, and it hurt to see it being burned down by the demon rats. You're not the only one, Aaron. Steve Miller, I'm a 59-year-old male. This song is a call to save our country. I fear for our children and future grandchildren. And yes, I cried like a baby in front of my wife when I first heard it. God bless the USA. Okay, 2 replies to this one. First is Mark Britton. I am also 59 years young, ready and willing to fight. American flag emoji, heart emoji. Aaron Lewis just wrote our team anthem. It's a terrifying statement.
Who are they fighting?
The American people, American military. This is going to get bad.
God damn. I don't want to fight anyone.
Twisted Bones said, 52 here, right with you, brother.
Oh, I don't like when people start throwing around brother.
Anonymous 2024, that's troubling, said, no, brother, you are not. We are here and we are watching. A fight they want is a fight they will get. It's time and the countdown has started. Freedom at any cost.
Holy shit, man. There's a bunch of people out there pretending to be G.I. Joe.
Yeah, but here's the fun part, Garrett. They're all heavily armed.
Yep, that's their right, Tim.
Troubling.
Well, those were horrible, and this has been terrible. Great suggestion, Tim. That brings us to final thoughts. I now really dislike this song.
Yeah, I can't wait for his new single about Simone Biles. It's going to be troubling.
Am I the only one waiting to see a little girl prancing on TV? Getting gold, doing me proud. She said she can't flip because she had a bat. I don't know why she couldn't actually. It was unclear.
She got confused in the air when she was flipping.
We are pro Biles here. Yeah. I do want to point that out. Tim's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, not posters. He has 4.
They're pennants.
Oh, pennants. Okay. Where do you get a cheerleading pennant?
It's not a cheerleading pennant. It's a baseball pennant that I've written Biles on. I'm a big fan of the Olympics, Garrett.
That's right. That is the Detroit Tigers with Biles written on it. Okay.
I've also got a bunch of diving posters, if you're interested in some of those.
I am not. Anyway, Tim, is there anything you want to say about this that we haven't said?
No.
All right. There's one thing that I didn't say in that song. In that song, he says, I'm sounding like my old man. That stands to at least reason for a moment he had the realization like, oh, I might just be an old man screaming at clouds.
See, I think it's different. I think what he's saying is
he's come to appreciate America.
Yeah. His dad was right all along. And it's the kind of thing that you tell your kids, so they're like, yeah. I realized my dad was right all along, and someday you're going to realize I'm right all along. Now get in the bunker. We got to defend our land. There's a bucket in there. There's 2 buckets. There's a food bucket. There's a poop bucket.
You'll know which is which. Tim, do you hate this song?
Yeah, I do. It's terrible. I have an appreciation for how bad it is, for how cringy it is. I enjoyed listening to it. It enraged me every time. But again, Garrett, that is a feeling that I have come to enjoy. But yes, I did hate the things he was saying. What about you, friend?
Yeah, I really got there this week. I went from iffy to hate.
Good. Just like last week with Pinkerton.
Did I? Yeah.
Yeah. because it's gross.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to listener mail. Tim, you want to kick us off or you want me to do it?
I'll go first.
Yeah. Right.
Mine is very short. It is actually an Apple review.
Oh, God.
And it's from Josh, and it's called Dog Wars.
Why?
Yogi, hands down, best dog ever. 5 out of 5 stars. Now, this is the content we're looking for, people. If you want to send us emails saying how Yogi is a better dog than Batman, if you would like to say that I am funnier than Garrett, if you'd like to say that Garrett is just not funny, if you'd like to say that Garrett's troubled history is something that maybe he should address with a psychiatrist instead of Tim, if you'd just like to say, you know what, they're both good dogs, Yogi just barely edges him out. If you'd like to say, hey, Yogi went to the vet yesterday, didn't bite anybody. That's good. That's a good doggy. That is a good doggy. He got a shot.
God damn it.
And
I hate this.
The point is, Yogi's a good doggy, and I would like more emails and more reviews mentioning that fact. You can say that Yogi's an awesome dog, the best dog, or just better than Batman. Don't care.
That is just a hot tray of bullshit.
Thank you, Josh, for your awesome review.
Batman is superior in every single way.
Untrue.
Your dog is a maniac and you have started a war you don't understand. I love your dog. To be clear, I love Yogi. He's a good boy. But Batman is a better doggy.
So here's the deal. Garrett got a dog, and so I got a competing dog, and my dog is currently winning, I think.
What is he winning at?
Being a great dog.
Don't say dogging. No. We're going to have a dog off. Dog off!
All right. But it can't be like any traditional, like, tricks.
Well, that seems like part of being a dog.
No.
Batman is very good at tricks.
Yeah, but that's because his spirit is broken. Yogi is wild and free, Garrett. Yogi does what Yogi wants to do.
And unfortunately, what Yogi wants is to kick Garrett in the nuts.
You know, he's actually, since he's gotten a little bit taller, well, longer, I guess, technically, he's mostly just punching people in the stomach now.
Good for him. All right. Great email, Tim. Mine this week is from Nate. Nate's email is titled Suggestions for Next Podcast Episode or a Spin-off mini episode or mailbag episode, plus a surprise at the end for you boys. Is the title.
I don't like this.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds. Let's see here. Dear Tom and Gary, I have now dived deeper into the lore that is why I hate this album. Some of the most enjoyable parts of the episodes for me is whenever you guys dive into your horrifying, tragic, and movie-like pasts. Movie-like? What fucking it, maybe?
I think it's maybe one of those Todd Solondz movies.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, man. God. Those are movies.
Yep.
That's all I can say. My next school year is going to start soon, and it would make me, as well as my other public school attendee listeners, feel better by knowing that you guys had a worse experience. One might say we are agony eaters. That's alarming, mate.
That is the name of a group of demons.
I'm sorry.
That name is appropriate for like demons.
So you're saying they're demons or we're demons?
Well, agony eaters. That's the name.
Oh, I see. That would be a good name for a demon.
Yes.
Okay. No, I'm with you. Now, for like a video game or a shitty what were those movies with the chick?
Ghostbusters.
Underworld. Oh no! Come on. That was a great guess. Anyway, the email continues. P.S. I am also a skilled musician and swordsman. A skilled musician and swordsman, so I'll write something to send into the Why I Hate This Album headquarters, trademark, sometimes in the near future. Trademark is a nice touch.
No, he's going to send music or sword play.
I don't care. Send them both, Nate. I will make the sword come into play during all of this, don't worry. Oh, you just didn't let me finish, Tim. It's going to be both. Writing to you again, Nate, a.k.a. Candlestick Maker Apprentice. So I think the crux, the first part of that, before we get into all the sword play, is he wants us to do a side episode or bonus, or we don't do bonus. We don't have time for bonus, pal. He wants us to do a prepisode on just our terrible childhood, specifically in school. But you went to some weird international school for boys, right?
No, it is mixed gender.
Yeah, I meant it in the royal boys, Tim.
Oh.
I just mean you went to some weird United Nations something or other, right? Did you have a uniform?
No.
You did in Houston.
I did, yes. Yeah.
So is it fair to say your Saudi Arabia schooling was actually more normal than your U.S. schooling?
No, because it was 50% people from the U.S. and 50%, a mix of the British, Saudi Arabians. There's a fair number of Indian, Pakistani people, other Arab Gulf states.
God. Anyway, I attended shit public schools my entire life, so I got just a Rolodex of horrifying stories I could tell you. Yeah, here's a fun fact. Most bathrooms in the 90s didn't have doors.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't.
Like the stalls?
I didn't come across that at all.
Yeah, my high school for sure, and middle school, most of the bathrooms, the stall doors had been taken off because people were doing drugs and fucking in them.
Now, at one point in your working career, you were urinating and actually ripped a...
That was an accident.
Okay. A divider.
It was a urinal partition, and I accidentally got a little off balance while taking a whiz and may have slid into the partition ever so slightly. And I maintain that was just being held there very, very loosely. They did a poor job. I think they'd screwed into tile, Tim. I don't know if you have any experience screwing into tile. That's not a tight fit. That's a loose hole.
So you ripped a partition off. Was there anyone on the other side of that partition at the time?
No, but I do believe there was somebody in the single stall in that bathroom. Very small bathroom. That baby was out of commission for a few months.
Yeah. Garrett is, he has like ape strength.
Oh, that reminds me, Tim. I did some Googling about, somebody called me some sort of bug man soy boy. You know what that means? You were right. Not flattering at all.
I can't imagine it would be.
So I looked it up without going into any real nitty gritty here. In essence, they made the mistake of thinking I was some sort of frail bookworm. That's a misread. You have spoken of my strength and violence.
Oh yeah, Garrett, it's
I have a strength in me.
He's not a violent person. He's the sort of person that will open a beer and then you look at the beer and you're like, well, that wasn't a twist off, and also you've ripped the whole neck off this bottle with your bare hands, you fucking psycho.
Oh, that did happen.
Yeah, he's the sort of person. So we used to go rock climbing a lot before he greased up my rock climbing shoes and crippled me for 8 months. That's another hilarious thing that he does. But I've seen him literally just jam a single finger into a hole that's much too small for that horrific mangled or pre-mangled finger, and then just like dangle by it by a single finger while he like adjusts his feet, and it's gross. He's a gross human, but he's got a lot of hand strength.
I'll grab a hold of you and I will not let go, and I'll just start ripping.
Yeah. He's the kind of person that until very recently I thought his hands, the skin on them was impenetrable. Now I learned it wasn't, because
we are not getting into this. Not at all. Anyway, that brings us to music news of the weird. Tim, would you like to go first, or would you like me to?
Oh, of course I want to go first, Garrett.
You're such a prick.
Yeah, in penis news, Garrett.
Okay.
We did an episode on a Kanye West album, K-Way as our viewers know him, and an episode on a Ray J song, and in both episodes, Garrett gave a rave review to Ray J's penis. As far as Garrett is concerned, Ray J has excellent dick. Top
I feel like you're
notch. Member, I believe is what he said. He was over the moon. No. He just could not contain himself.
Over the moon.
And yeah, you're a very old man and you're super into this dick. Well, we now have a very intimate look at K-Way's penis, a selfie he took at a time in his life when he was allegedly trying to find women to bang on MySpace. So it's old dick, but I have to ask Garrett. I mean, I have texted you numerous K-Way pictures out of context this past week. I assume you were unaware why I was sending you a series of penis pictures. What did you think? How did it stack up to Ray J's? Whose dick do you prefer?
I don't like any of this. I really don't like what you've done here. I'm not going to go back and correct all your lies, but needless to say, I did not look. Tim, I've got you on a little something I call a block. We live together. You don't need to text me.
Oh, okay. Well,
there's nothing important you could possibly text me that I don't see you doing.
Hey, Garrett?
Yeah. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. I have lifted
Why did I not think there was going to be a fucking
8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'll set it back down.
Where did you even print this? Did you go to Kinko's?
Yeah.
We don't have printers.
No, I know. I didn't go, Garrett. We have interns.
Cock at Kinko's. Oh, that's right. Oh, man, guys, you can't print a cock at Kinko's.
That's not true.
I mean, you did, but you shouldn't.
Yeah, you really shouldn't. But my point is, I assume Garrett will tweet out which one he prefers. He doesn't want to answer live. That's fine.
I hate you.
Let us know. Garrett, what penis news do you have for us this week?
No penis news, Tim, because I take this seriously.
That's untrue.
In Britney Spears news. In Britney Spears news, for real, a judge has denied a request to have her next hearing moved up by almost a month. Britney's new lawyer and conservator of her person argued that any delay will only allow her father Jamie, who remains the conservator of her estate, in a position to do severe harm. The document also laid out the alleged funds that Mr. Spears had been allocating to himself as the conservator of the estate. Quote, Mr. Spears has also enriched himself at the expense of his daughter, reaping millions of dollars from the services as a performer. In addition to paying himself $16,000 a month from Miss Spears' estate, $2,000 more than he has given Miss Spears in her allowance, plus an additional $2,000 a month for office expenses. This guy's a real piece of shit, Tim.
Yeah, I really don't understand why.
Why does a conservator get a salary?
But I also don't understand why you would keep your daughter essentially as a slave?
Well, slave implies she does. Well, yeah, I guess she does do something for him. She performs.
Or prisoner.
Yeah, that's true.
Hostage.
It's pretty creepy. There it is. Well, what's even weirder is like, if this was your plan, if you really wanted to just take advantage of Britney Spears, if you're her father, and I definitely believe that's what's happening.
I swear to God, if you say wall her up.
Oh, Tim, you're so paranoid. You get walled up 2 times in a couple of years, and suddenly everybody's getting walled up. No, if you wanted to do this and not ever get questioned, all you have to do is not make her perform and give her a reasonable amount of money, and you take a reasonable amount of money. But he is so excessive that he took a crazy salary, forced her to continue to perform against her will, and paid her considerably less of her own money. Like, this is not how you get away with a crime.
First of all, I don't think we should be giving tips on how to get away with crimes. Second of all, even if you can get away with imprisoning your child and stealing all their money, don't.
Well, sure, absolutely. If you're in the position, don't. Now, editorializing, as we do from time to time here on this show, I don't know if you've been watching Miss Spears' Instagram lately, Tim. There was a pretty long saga, we'll say, about her being trapped in a bathroom. I don't know if you read that story.
I didn't know.
Okay. I don't want to make any diagnosis here. I mean, I could. I'm a doctor in a lot of places by a lot of definitions, but I won't. But I will say, go read the story that Britney wrote about being locked in the bathroom. Somebody needs to be in charge.
So no one locked her in the bathroom. She got stuck in a bathroom.
You know, my point was not that, but that is a good one to bring up. Yes.
Okay.
She did get stuck in a bathroom.
Okay.
Security had to break down the door.
That's here.
But if the Instagram post is trouble, like somebody needs to be in charge and make sure everything's going honky-dory. She should not be a prisoner in her own home, but like, let's not just like, let's free Britney. Let's not free Britney. That's all I'm saying.
Let's give her at least a vote, right? She should get a vote.
Wait, what do you mean a vote?
Like a vote in what happens with her life?
Oh yeah, she should still be able to like determine that. If she wants to perform. If she never wants to, never do it again. But like somebody should like hang out and make sure everything's going okay.
Okay, like a handler.
Oh, like a medical professional.
Oh.
Like that, you know.
Like a Dr. Towel or that Brian Wilson guy?
No, Eugene Landy. No, don't landy her. I think she's been landied, Tim.
Oh.
She's been thoroughly landied.
Yeah, that's fair.
No. Like a credible doctor.
Okay.
Tim, what else you got?
Well, Garrett is probably the only one that will find this interesting news, but Garrett's going to find this really interesting. The Gathering of the Juggalos 2021 has a lineup. It's happening. And I don't know if you saw the full lineup, but for some fucking
Twitter
reason,
pointed it out to us.
Yeah, Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator himself, made the list. Will he
He's
be
going
there?
To be so busy.
Will he be there to catch predators? Will he be there to unmask the true clowns that have infiltrated the ICP ranks? Is he starting a new career as a professional wrestler? Does he have a new rap metal band we're just finding out about? Why is he going? I did no follow-up.
Yeah, nobody knows. They've had really weird people at that many times.
Well, absolutely. This is the
maybe
weirdest.
The weirdest.
Yeah.
It's almost enough to go.
Oh God, you love him so much.
Well,
you like that time he killed a guy in Dallas?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's the last episode, I believe.
It was, yeah.
Or at least the last season.
What are you doing here? Yeah, he's going to need a lot of extra cookies, Tim.
So, Garrett, what other Chris Hansen news do you have for us? It can be Chris Hansen or Juggalo related. Go ahead.
Obviously, that was the only... Well, okay. Small Juggalo side note, Tim. Have you seen the video of... Which one's the chubby one?
They're both pretty chubby.
Okay. One of them, I think... I think
it's Joe Brew.
One of them is trying to surf down a child slide and slips and breaks his arm.
No.
And it's very very funny. It's very painful. But the best part, Tim, is right as he breaks it, he screams, "Parkour! Oh, God, I broke my arm." I might love Insane Clown Posse.
Garrett.
Like, it's the perfect reaction.
You are very sensitive to smells.
Yes.
You don't love Insane Clown Posse.
That's a good point. I also don't like being sticky.
Yes.
Okay, back to my real news that isn't that. But if you haven't seen that video, I'm sure everybody has. It's been everywhere for weeks, but Tim hasn't, so we'll take the filters off.
Wall.
Allegedly.
You're right. I wasn't locked. I was bricked in. Go ahead. What's your dumb news story?
Oh, we're being pretty dramatic, Tim. Drywall is not bricks.
You gave me propofol.
Somebody gave you propofol.
Gave is not the right word. You forced upon me
Administered.
propofol. Yeah, that's fair. Administered is accurate. Go ahead. News story.
After many delays, jury selection for R. Kelly's sex trafficking charges has begun. I'm sorry, that's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. Has begun nearly 2 years after he was charged with abusing women and girls for nearly 2 decades. Kelly, 54, has been locked up since he was indicted, almost 2 years ago, I believe, and has requested new clothes due to his excessive weight gain and for court transcripts to be free of charge due to his diminished finances since he is unable to tour. This is pretty shocking to me. Apparently, R. Kelly is now fat, broke, and going to jail for a long time. Jurors will hear testimony from multiple accusers, as well as be shown evidence related to a plan to secretly marry Aaliyah in 1994 at the age of 15. At the time, Kelly thought that she was pregnant, and if married, she could be compelled to testify against him. It turns out she wasn't, so the plan was scrapped. But he is probably going to die in jail, and it's going to make it really hard to do an episode on him, because there's all this stuff now, but he's a very fun person to do an episode on.
Could make it easy to do an episode on, because he's one of the very few people that can't, assault us.
That's true. Not anymore.
Yeah.
He won't be urinating on anybody ever again.
That's not true.
That's not true. God, is R. Kelly going to thrive in
No,
prison?
he's not. He's really not.
He's going to become some sort of Spider-Man-like Kingpin-style supervillain. He's the first supervillain.
No, he's going to be beaten severely.
Oh, right, for being a pedophile.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Tim, what else you got?
In Martin Shkreli news, Garrett, the U.S. government has sold the Wu-Tang album Once Upon a Time in Shaolin for an unknown sum to an unknown buyer. This was the album that the Tang made only one copy of and then sold to Shkreli for $2 million. But then, obviously, Shkreli was convicted of fraud in order to forfeit $7,360,000. Shkreli also allegedly did not listen to the album and only bought it, and I'm quoting here, to keep it from the people, because he's a real cunt.
Just continuing that theme of being the worst.
Yeah. Hopefully the new owner, though, is listening to the show right now, and if so, may I urge you to just let us borrow it? You don't have to give us the CD or whatever. Just send us the MP3s. We won't let anyone else listen to it. We won't even let the interns or Gino listen to it. We will do a $2 million episode that we will then send only to you and not to the rest of our filthy proletariat listener base. Think about it.
It's just going to be me saying, this isn't bad. It's a little wordy.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that.
Yeah. And it's probably post-ODB, so...
No one has heard it other than the Wu-Tang. The Tang.
Interesting.
The Wu? The Tang.
All of it, Tim. It's all fine. You know how Jizz and RZA roll.
What?
Which one?
Oh, Martin Shkreli.
Oh, Shkreli?
He's not the worst person in the world, but...
no, he just has the worst instincts.
Yeah. Garrett, do you have any further news for us?
I do. God, your transitions. That's one of the better ones. Tim, have you been following any of the drama with DaBaby?
I have. It's not looking great for DaBaby.
Oh, poor DaBaby. Kind of. During his, in case anybody's been living under a rock for the last month, by the time this comes out, during his Rolling Loud Miami set, instead of a simple thanks for coming out and supporting me, the rapper launched into a bit of a diatribe about STDs. Sorry, STIs. He said, quote, "If you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, or any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, then put your cell phone lighter up." Which, I don't know what that is. I think he just means flashlight?
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing he said, "Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick in the parking lot, put your cell phone lighter up." Now, that one, I think, really crossed the line, because since then, he has now lost gigs at Lollapalooza, ACL, Governor's Ball, Day in Vegas, which I don't know what that is, Music Midtown, and the iHeartRadio Music Festival. So, obviously, his people released an apology that could not sound any less like DaBaby. It reads, quote, "I want to apologize to the LGBTQ plus community for the hurtful and triggering comments I made," end end quote. That does not sound like my DaBaby. Then a week later, Tim, the apology was taken down and no explanation has been given since. I suspect after the completely transparent fake apology was released and nobody bought it, he said, well, fuck it. If I don't get my gigs back, I'm not going to at least pretend to give a shit. That's my guess. I don't want to put words in DaBaby's mouth, although maybe somebody should, because his are bad.
Well, I don't know.
Just more confusing.
Yeah.
Like I honestly think there's a chance, and I'm not here, I'm no DaBaby defender, but there's a chance he wasn't trying to say what it sounds like he was trying to say, because what he did say verbatim doesn't actually make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, but it's also equally possible, if not almost guaranteed, that he is both a little bit intolerant and also not very well educated.
Wow, bold statements. All right,
Okay.
Tim, do you have other news for us?
I do, Garrett. In news that can't possibly be relevant past September 18th, 1970 news, Pete Townsend recently mentioned, I guess we knew this, that he sang a bunch of songs on the third Who record, The Who Sell Out, and Roger Daltrey was absent for a lot of the studio sessions for that album, leaving again Peter to sing on a bunch of the songs. So apparently Robert Daltrey was missing because he was keeping an eye on his girlfriend and future wife, Heather Taylor, and essentially making sure Jimi Hendrix wasn't making passionate, considerate, but also quite athletic love to her. Athletic, Garrett. It apparently took quite a bit of time and energy to keep Jimmy from sex with your lady, and allegedly...
I buy that.
Yeah, I know, me too. And allegedly she was the lady that James wrote Foxy Lady about, so he probably had intercourse with her. But
nice.
Roger Daltrey decided to skip a bunch of the studio sessions to make sure it didn't happen again. And that's probably a smart move.
Just bring her to the studio.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, he still gets all the money from those recordings. They're a band. He's not losing out money just from not being there.
Fair enough. All right, Tim, that brings us to my favorite part of the show, where and this week you get to announce, since I've gotten to run the programming here on the show for a little bit, although you did also recommend Aaron Lewis, so I don't know exactly how it's your turn twice in a row, but here we are. What album are we going to be listening to for an entire week before we come back here and tell these good folks whether or not we hate it and why?
Well, Brad, you're welcome.
What?
We're finally doing one of your suggestions again. We are going to do one of the best albums. No, not one of the best.
One of the best
albums,
worst?
One of the albums that exists. Kevin Federline's debut and also farewell album, Playing with Fire.
First and last, out the door.
Yeah.
Wow. Tim, this has been a long time coming. It does not seem to exist on traditional music streaming platforms. We've had to go into the archives to locate the files necessary to play this, and even still, I am uncertain if we found all the tracks. Listeners, write in, find the tracks.
Listeners, write in. Did we find all the tracks?
Yeah, there's a good chance we may institute our own rule of 11 on accident when we do this album, because I don't think we have all the tracks.
Yeah, well, we'll try and find them. Don't worry.
Kevin Federline, reach out, hatePodMail@gmail.com. Where the fuck is your album?
Oh.
And no, I don't have a CD player.
Trouble.
All right, that's going to suck dicks, Tim. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I think that it's a musical accomplishment.
How? He has no musical talent.
Yes.
And he made an album.
Yes. This is like if you were in third grade.
Oh boy.
And you made an album.
Wow.
You just
insulting.
I think it's going to be
third grade me.
Really bad. And also, I think it's going to be Corey Feldman levels of talent. Musical
Tim
talent.
has wanted this to happen for years.
Oh, I
2
suggest
years?
it every week. Brad begged us for this before he went insane.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't know. I guess I'm breaking some news here. Brad's completely insane. He's
unpredictable.
He's crazy.
We'll let the listeners decide. He has taken to paper mache, doing monuments, landscapes. He did the Eiffel Tower last week. This week it's Mount Rushmore. I want to say I saw a Mount Fuji in the bathroom.
They're all
wild
just piles. They're not. There's no structure.
Let the boy express himself. He's got a lot of hurt in him.
Okay.
Well, frankly, Tim, I think it's like a sleepwalker. It's dangerous to interrupt him. Just let him keep building his piles of garbage. With the big studio now, studio/home/
Party Central
research facility. Party. You did mention that it is now /officially Party Central. I guess I missed that vote. I would have voted against it.
All right.
That's how I know that. We don't really have votes when I'm not here, though.
No, because when you're not here, I rule with an iron fist.
My God. Okay, folks, thanks for listening. If you can see it in your heart, go on out there to the Apple Podcast app. Give us the 5 stars. Get that done. Just get it out of the way. It's easy. Just straight to 5. Thank you. Then you can tell us how great you think Batman is. More specifically, how much better he is than Yogi.
No,
and I'm not saying a little bit better. I'm talking about by a country mile.
Look, Yogi's so sweet. He's scrappy.
He's
Batman
bitey.
is a lot like Garrett. Yogi's a lot like me. Okay?
I don't like this.
He's a little scrappier, sure. Maybe he's approximately a quarter the age. Yeah, sure.
No. Quarter the age.
The point is, much
2.5
younger.
years.
He's kind of a little bit less worldly. His paws are less
Big.
mitt-like, catcher's mitt-like.
This analogy is terrible. What's important is write in hatePodMail@gmail.com with the title Batman Forever.
No, Yogi Forever,
your vote.
Batman Never.
No, what?
If you'd
Batman
like
Forever.
to come, okay, we have a Batman Forever was a terrible movie. We have a bunch of protesters outside of our house right now. If you'd like to come out there and chant Yogi Forever, Batman Never, you can.
I, of course, expect my counter-protesters to show up in force, and Tim's will be the crisis actors of which he speaks every week. All right, folks, we got to get the fuck out of here. So if you want to reach out to us, we sure want to hear from you. I would say go to hatepod.com to get every episode we've ever done, but that's not true. I haven't updated it in almost a year, so everything up to about a year ago. But soon I'm going to update it in one big, terrible day. And they'll all be updated here very soon. But until then, you can find us on all the fucking platforms. Just go to wherever you get podcasts. You're listening to it now, so you figured it out. Please reach out to us. Part of the Prepisodes is the listener mail. We love getting it. We always reply. It takes us some time, but don't lose hope. We will get to you either on the show or personally. We will reply, Tim or myself, sometimes both. Sometimes we argue with each other in your email. It's happened. Sorry. You can also find us on Instagram. We're HatePod. On Twitter, we're Album HatePod. On Twitter, I'm G Harvey Tweets. Tim's on Instagram, but he won't let you follow him, so don't bother. We're on Facebook, but we don't know how to log in, and we don't care enough to go find it, so we aren't gonna. So don't look for us on Facebook. We got the subreddits, we got the Discord server, though we have no idea how to join it, so don't ask me. Or ask me on Twitter, I'll retweet it. Somebody else will tell you how to do it. I don't know. But again, please, 5 stars. Get them out there. Really need them, guys. For Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy Richardson, and on October 12th, 2012, Garrett P. Harvey said, "Hey, no, don't compare me to Joseph Kony."
I stick by that. Don't.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
I strangled them all, of course.